أعوذ بالله السميع العليم البصير من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا وحبيبنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Alhamdulillah. So in continuation of our discussions on Jum'ah spiritual delicacies, as we said, so this is a second replacement for 8th of Safar 1445, equivalent to 25th of August 2023, that we have missed before. So, and after this, we have one more replacement, which was last Friday, 15th of Safar 1445. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide our utterances and steps and forgive us for all those lapses, those that we know and those that we are not aware of. Innahu ala dhalika qadir wa bil ijabati jadir, ni'ma al-mawla wa ni'ma al-nasir. So with that, we are going to read, as usual, the aphorism. Then we check whether there are round words begging for attention. Then after that, we give the literal translation and then conclude with the interpretation of Sheikh Abdul Majid Ash-Sharnobi, rahimahullahu rahmatan wasi'atan. Ameen. I share the screen now. So the aphorism goes as does, and I read as presented, inshallah. This is aphorism number 48. It says, Min alamati mawtil qalbi adamul huzni ala ma fataka min al muwafiqati wa tarku nadimi ala ma fa'altahu min wujudi zallati. I read again the aphorism number 48. It says, Min alamati mawtil qalbi adamul uzni ala ma fataka min al muwafiqati wa tarku nadimi ala ma fa'altahu min wujudi zallat. Allahu Akbar. There are some words that require attention. Here, let's check. First of all, I saved the previous recording. Okay. Then we continue. Alamat, that is the plural form of alama. Alama, symbol, signal, isharat, al-ishara, signal. Mawtil qalbi, death of the heart, the inactivity, the deficiency of the heart. Okay. Al-huznu, that is like apology, sadness, feeling sorry. Okay, al-huznu. Fata, something that we missed. Okay, ma fataka, what you missed, what you were unable to do. Al-muwafiqati, it is jamu'u, it is the plural form of al-muwafiqa. Al-muwafiqa, that is things that provided, things that are made available, things that are supported and legal, al-muwafiqat, the approved things. Okay, and nadimi is also like al-huznu. Al-huznu is sadness, and nadmu is regretfulness. Okay, wujud zallat, az-zallat, atrocities, things that we mean, evil doings. Okay, demonic acts, okay, and deeds. All right, so those are some words that beg for attention. Now, the literal translation of the aphorism, let me refer you to that text again. So it says, or rather, let's see this first. For literal translation, it says, among the signs of the heart's death is living sadness over missed acts of obedience. So acts of obedience, al-muwafiqat, and living regret and nadmu over slips into disobedience. Okay, az-zallat. So let's check another literal translation here. It says, a sign of the heart's death is the absence of sadness over the acts of obedience you have neglected, and the abandonment of regret over the mistakes you have made. Okay, mistakes here, zallat. So this translation seems more accurate and simpler and more direct. A sign of the heart's death is the absence of sadness, over the acts of obedience you have neglected. Okay, alama fataka min al-muwafiqat, and the abandonment of regret, tarkun nadami, okay, over the mistakes you have made, okay, on the zalat that you have made. So that is the literal translation. Now we go to conceptual meanings and message bearing. So it is still connected to the previous aphorism, okay, and meaning to say that we should always try to improve our spiritual selves with the acts of worship, okay, that we are stipulated, all right, with the dhikr, okay. So because if we do not allow our hands to constantly connect to our tongue, and our tongue to constantly connect to the heart will eventually die and sever itself from the tongue. And by that, the memory will be lost, okay, of what is the remembrance of Allah. So rather than doing what pleases Allah, it will be engaged in something else. So that is the message here. So one of the signs showing that the heart is dead, the heart is not conscious, the heart is lacking awareness of God, is that it does not feel sad when it misses any act of obedience. For example, one who has until now have not prayed Safar. It is Asr and almost Maghrib now here. So, and someone who have not prayed Safar, Dhuhr, and Asr and Maghrib is approaching, and he is not feeling sad about it. He's still feeling okay and settled, feeling comfortable about it. So that is a sign that shows that the heart is lacking consciousness, it's dead. And someone, let's say during Ramadan, without any defection, without any excuses, any legal excuses, he openly takes food and eats in front of people in the public. So, and without feeling any regret. When people talk to him, do you know people are fasting and you are not supposed to do this? He doesn't feel remorseful. It's not remorseful. Okay? Or someone who cheats the other, who cheats other people in any form, and still claiming right on doing this, that he has a freedom of doing that. Okay? So these are signs of, showing that the heart is dead. There's no life in that. There's no consciousness of Allah in that heart anymore. Okay, someone who is not accurate, someone who's not just, okay, not between his spouses, not between his children, not among his neighbors, not among his family, and still feeling comfortable with that. So that shows the consciousness of such a person is dead. A lecturer who fails students without justification and still feeling comfortable with it is lacking consciousness of heart, of mind. A student who would not attend class and still feel okay about it is lacking the consciousness of heart. Someone in the position of authority who will not give to the subordinates what they worth, what they deserve, he is lacking consciousness of mind and heart. A boss who just know only how to boss the junior ones under him, does not even know how to treat them well, is lacking consciousness of heart. The heart is dead. So it transverses all over life areas. So that is the conceptual message then. So we have to be conscious of Allah. We have to be conscious of ourselves. We have to be conscious of our fellow human beings. We have to be conscious of the environment in which we live. Someone who goes about vandalizing governmental structures has missed the consciousness of heart. The heart is dead. Someone who, when government establishes some structure, he goes stealing them. That person is lacking consciousness of heart. So, min alamati mawtil qalb. So one of the signs showing the death of the heart and lack of consciousness in the heart is lack of sadness. When one feels no sad when he misses any act of obedience. وَتَرْكُ النَّدِمِ عَلَى مَا فَعَلْتَهُ مِنْ وُجُودِ الزَّلَّاتِ, and not feeling remorse, not feeling regretful, not feeling sorry for making and committing any mistakes, any error in the act of just, in the act of ibadah, in the act of other people. So the message straightforward here is we should be mindful of Allah, we should be mindful of ourselves, we should be mindful of our close ones, we should be mindful of our fellow human beings, we should be mindful of other creatures around us. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us right. Now, we conclude by reading the interpretations of Sheikh Abdul Majid Ash-Sharnobi. Sheikh Abdul Majid Ash-Sharnobi rahimahullah wa amwatina wa amwatul muslimin. I mean, he says, Inna adama husnika ayyuhal murid alama fataka min al-muwafiqat bi kasri al-fa'i. Surely, O beloved seeker of the truth, your lack of sadness and sorrow and sorry on what you have missed in the acts of obedience, okay? Obediences that are in accordance with the Sharia, وَتَرْكَ نَدَمَكَ عَلَى مَا فَعَلْتَهُ مِنْ وُجُودِ الزَّلَالِ, and lack of your remorse, lack of feeling remorse, lack of regret, okay, from you on mistakes that you have committed. أي المعاصي التي توجد منك, the sinful acts that you have committed. So all this shows alamatu mutu qalbika. All this shows that your heart is dead. Your heart is dead. وَيُفْهَمُ مِنْهُ أَنَّ سُرُورَكَ بِالطَّاعَةِ وَأُثْنُكَ عَلَى الْمَعْصِيَةِ عَلَامَةُ حَيَاتِهِ. So from here, we understand that sururaka bit-ta'at, your happiness when you execute an act of obedience, when you pray, when you do nafila, when you do tahajjud, when you give people, when you help people, when you assist people, when you commit yourself to community service, to humanity, to service of humanity, and you're happy about it. Wa usnuka ala al-ma'siyah, and when you commit any sinful act, you feel sorry, you feel remorse, you are remorseful, you are regretful. When you make some people sad, when you are wrong against people, you feel sorry. So this in you is alama to hayati. It shows that you have a conscious heart. It shows that your heart is lively. Lima fil hadith, because this is stated in one of the hadiths, saying, Man sarrathu hasanatuhu wa sa'athu sayyi'atuhu fahuwa mu'min. Anyone who is gladdened by his good deeds and who is saddened by his evil deeds is of course counted as a believer. Again, man sarrathu hasanatuhu wa sa'athu sayyi'atuhu fahuwa mu'min. Anyone whose good deeds gladdens his heart and his evil deeds saddens his heart is a believer, a true mu'min. فَإِنَّ الْأَعْمَالَ الْحَسَنَةَ عَلَامَةٌ عَلَى رِضَى الْحَقِّ, because good deeds, being able to do good deeds, is a sign that the truth, Allah, is pleased with one. وَرِضَاهُ يَقْتَدِي السُّرُورِ, and when Allah is pleased with one, so necessarily one becomes happy and joyous. While amalu sayyi'ah, on the other hand, evil deeds are alamatun ala ghadabihi, are signs of Allah's wrath, Allah's anger. Wa ghadabuhu yaqtadi al-husna. And when Allah is angry at someone, at one necessarily becomes sad and unhappy. فَمَنْ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُ وَفَّقَهُ لِصَالِحِ الْأَعْمَالِ. Anyone whom Allah is pleased with, Allah will grant him opportunity and ability to execute good deeds. وَمَنْ غَضِبَ عَلَيْهِ تَرَكَهُ فِي زَوَايَا الْإِهْمَالِ. And anyone whom Allah's anger and wrath is fighting with, Allah will leave him to his procrastination corner. As'alullah at-tawfiq li-aqwam at-tariq. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us tawfiq to be able to move, to be able to tread on the righteous path. So this is the end of Aphorism 48. So we end the session here, inshallah, and leaving myself and all of you under the protection of Allah the Almighty, in whose protection nothing is missed and lost. أستودعكم ونفسي في رعاية الله الذي لا يضيع ودائعه والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.